it'll settle down.
Massive heat, massive pressure with the jack, and overcorrection. Look at the gap on the truss. Okay.
We'll grind that out. I'll get the welder out.
Yep.
One way or the other, that sucker's going back together.
Okay, so you can see I made another cut on the short side because the short side's off a little bit too. So I cut the truss right there, I don't know, about 1.5 inches over from the perch for the coil. Notched it out to be filled in with a weld later. You can see that we notched that out right there. It's a little bit of tension on this, it's cooling, but we made a pretty good correction where when we took the pressure off the piston jack. So what you're looking at right here, this is an overcorrection right here intentionally. And then when we let it off, she drops down into the center. Okay, so Chris had to leave. No worries, very much appreciate the help today. Recon 1 sitting up here, axle out, working on the straightening of the housing. Unfortunately, both sides, mostly the long side. So in order to make the corrections, we had to break the welds and make notches unfortunately, on each side. This is the first time where I seen the short side, the driver's side, was also messed up. So you can see I cut the truss all the way through and then made like a V-notch so that after the correction's made, it can be welded up nice. So this is all cooling. This was heated really hot. We put the 20-ton piston jack on it, made an overcorrection. So hopefully when we let this side down, take the pressure off of it, Mike will start doing some tack welding. You can see he's got the Miller welder in the go position right here. Not bad. Kind of a frustrating job, but it's important. You can see that the shock mount and the lower control arm mounts have been removed. They've been ground down to the axle tubes on both sides. We've got the new Barnes mounts right here, 1/4-inch steel instead of that cheap ass 16th inch bullshit. And then we have sleeves. So the other part of this is sleeves will go into each axle tube. But before we do that, after the tube is straightened, we're going to have a variety of holes. I think there's maybe 8 holes on the long side, 6 holes on the short side. We'll start with a pilot bit, and then we basically open them to 1/2 inch. And then that way when the sleeve gets inserted, these are Barnes sleeves, and those sleeves will go in about 1/8 of an inch from the end of the axle tube. All those little rosette welds will take place where the holes are in various spots. And then there'll also be a bead all the way around the sleeve inside the C. Okay, and as I said, probably 8 holes on the long side. So, but once all of that's done, I mean, then it's just a question of reassembly. And hopefully, I think we're going to probably install it without the camber correction shims, hoping that we nail this thing. Outside of that, things look pretty good. I had some good meat on the front pads right there, no problem. We did earlier in the day today, we checked the power steering pump with Mike's new gauge, and it worked flawlessly. It did everything it was supposed to. So I think that's it for the power steering. I think my little issue is something that I have to deal with. We found might need a new battery terminal on the negative on my battery. It just doesn't seem to tighten good on the post. We found it kind of hanging and dangling. So just some various things that we can check. Colin noticed that I got a tremendous amount of sand inside the frame here. And yeah, you can feel it. I mean, there's just a ton of sand there. Why? Well, I got stuck in that silt pond on Old Florida Road, and I was submersed in that thing for quite a while until Dan winched me out. But anyway, we're making some progress. We're pretty damn happy with the long side right here. It's not bad. Short side, which she's about, maybe a good 1/8 of an inch low. So I'll have to make a correction there. You can see it right there, guys. You can see the space on the top. Okay, so we cut out a notch out of the perch because we saw when we took one of our control arm mounts, there was some collision there. So basically, the control arm mount gets mounted level with the perch, 3 inches and 9/16 outside of the perch mount to the outside here. So we could see right off the bat there'd be some conflict. So we just notched that out, sanded it. But right now, you can see that we've brought our support to the inside, and you can see that we have a cut in our truss. And now we're gonna start working on the short side. You can see Mike has the piston jack ready. The chain binder is secured to anchor this thing down. Not bad, not bad. It's tedious. It's perhaps a lot of people wouldn't go through this, but it can be done with some patience, some skill, and some heat. Piston jack.
What heat we have.
And a welder. Yeah, so not bad. But once again, so he's gonna start heating the short side right here where it goes into the housing. And then we'll apply our pressure, make our corrections. We basically overcorrect so that when we take the pressure off, she's straight. You can see that the alignment bar is through the 2 center pucks right there. And Mike's pretty happy with it on the long side, so made some pretty good progress here.
It works here.
The axle tubes are clean, nice. I mean, we make some measurements, we tack them, we level them. We'll have the shock mounts and the lower control arm mounts tacked. Not bad. Considering we probably didn't even start this axle job till 10 or 10:30 today because we did a steering test on Recon 1 with the pump. We're doing pretty good.
All right. Just let that sit
Yep.
for a while.
Yep.
Let's see what happens when it
All right.
cools.
A lot of heat there, 900 and some odd degrees. Some pressure with the jack. The truss has been cut.
This one still didn't move much.
None
at all, really.
That's great. Looking at the axle tube, looking at your bar, right there, she's coming through true. I mean, it really looks good. Wow, huge improvement. I mean, this side was off about 1/8 of an inch. The other side was off about yeah, right. That's the key. Sometimes you got to overcorrect, but wow, Mike, that's looking at it right there. It's not bad. Wow.
You definitely got a gap that opened up a little.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Pressure on it right now. We got the chain binders holding the axle down to that welding table right there. If that all goes good and we can get this thing all tacked up and be happy that the axle is straightened, then we've got a simple set of directions to follow for some basic measurements to mount the shock mounts, the Barnes shock mounts, as well as the lower control arm mounts. And then we would measure those, level them, tack them. Then when we're happy with them, just freaking beat them all in, burn them in, and then the front Dana 44 would have been straightened and reinforced. Oh, I forgot, we still got to drill holes. Once we get this thing straightened out, we got to drill a bunch of holes. All right, so we're doing some more work on the short side. After it cooled, it wasn't where we wanted it. So Mike's really heating the shit out of that. Took the chain binders, tightened it down hardcore. Now you can see Mike's getting that 20-ton piston jack under there. All right. He's got a piece of flat stock that he puts on it as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it does any good, but.
Well, here we go. And then we can extend the bar through and
She's opening now.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, she's overcorrected for sure. See how she's see how she's high to the top, but you did that intentionally. Overcorrected, so that the idea is when you let off, you end up being in the center. You can see the overcorrection. So this was about 1/8 of an inch off, and now Mike has overcorrected about 1/8 of an inch.
I'm just gonna let that.
Serious heat. And Mike hits it with the hammer. The idea is to release any tension on the truss or the axle tube, because it's all under pressure right now. You can see that the truss opening is very wide now, so clearly we've impacted this short axle tube.
Let it sit.
Yep, let her rest.
Let it rest.
Definitely got that bitch up to 1,000 degrees. Look at that steam coming off of it. Mike, so this one came out really good. So he had to make an overcorrection, heat the shit out of it. There's no pressure on the jack right now. And now the puck is going into that unit bearing quite nicely. So he'll do some tacks. He'll start tacking the truss and beef this up so she don't go anywhere. But that's really huge. It all starts with straightening out the axle tubes. Then we can work on our holes that we got to drill for our sleeves, et cetera, et cetera. And then mounting the control arms, which actually the control arm mounts and the shock mounts should be after the sleeves, because that way we can drill holes where we want and then fill them in with the welds.
Yeah, we'll do the
So
next.
that'll be the next thing. But yeah, Mike's pretty happy with that. The long side, a little bit of tension on it, but I mean, look at how better it is. I mean, this thing was off 3/4 of an inch to an inch. So hopefully, to Mike's point, Mike's like, Rick, I'm hoping that you don't need camber correction shims anymore behind your unit bearing, and that's the plan. So, wow, huge. Great job, man. Clean that up with a flap wheel. Mike's gonna fill that in a little bit. He's working on the short side. Yeah, this was one of Mike's better ideas, to have a buddy of his machine these pucks so that he can use his straightening bar and basically just line this all up. Oh, wow, nice.
Right down the root there.
Yeah,
So what we'll do is we'll
go to town.
do a couple cover passes. Just a bit of the back side of this wall. It's angled.
Mike noticed a little crack on a weld on the housing. So he preheated it to 465, and he's just doing a little burn on where that truss joins onto the axle housing. So as you know, when you hit this axle housing, you gotta do a little preheat and a little post-heat so that the two dissimilar metals cool at the same time. That's the name of the game, so you don't hear a loud pop and it just freaking disconnects. All right, you can see I got an 1/8 inch pilot bit. So I put 3 holes on each side of the short side tube, and then 4 1/8 inch holes on each side of the long tube. And then we're gonna open them up to 3/8 of an inch, and these will be where Mike can do his rosette welds once the sleeves go in. So look at the 3/8 holes right here, three on the other side. Now there's 8 more holes that gotta be drilled here. So you can see holes, there's basically 8 of them on the long side. We opened them up to 3/8. That's good enough for us. I'm gonna take the flap wheel and get the paint off of there, and then we got six holes on the short side. Obviously for the rosette welds after the axle tubes get put in. So there you go. About a half an hour of drilling right there to drill 14 holes.
It wasn't earlier. I was able to
But
move it in and out.
came out good. There we go. All right, so all our holes, you can see they've been flap wheeled to get the paint away from them, so we can get good welds in there. You can see the various holes down the axle tube. Pretty happy with that. Just takes a couple, 2, 3 really good drill bits and a little bit of patience. Nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Cool. You can see Mike is just cleaning the end of the axle tube, because obviously there's going to be a 360-degree weld around the edge of the sleeves. Here's the sleeves right here. So the holes are all drilled. Oh, the other thing too is at some point we got to take like an airline and just blow all those metal chips out of there. There's freaking metal chips everywhere. So you got a lot of metal filings. So per Barnes's directions, you can see Mike sending that bitch home. You want it to go in about 1/8 of an inch recess. We can take your die grinder too and open that up a little, right? Where it shrunk in a little bit to give us some room for the axle shaft.
Yeah, once I weld it, we'll walk around the middle. That's what I did on the last
Yeah, we'll clean it out a little bit. But obviously this side's a lot longer. There's more resistance. Mike did run a bore through here. He's got like a wire brush bore, cleaning out rust. You can see, if you look inside to where I drilled, you can see this will all get welded up right here. Little rosette welds, which will hold that thing in place. And then there'll be a bead all the way around the sleeve like that. Pretty cool.